What's up there, gamers and gamettes and everybody in between? It's your boy Kaiserenth, and we're here today to talk about Apex Legends and its skill-based matchmaking system and how it seems to be, well, anything but that. However, from this point forward, we'll be referring to skill-based matchmaking as SBMM. Saves me a lot of time, saves me a lot of syllables, stops my tongue from getting all tongue-tied. That being said, SBMM, what it's supposed to do is place people into your game who are around your skill level, as opposed to a random hodgepodge of randoms, people who are new, people who don't know what they're doing, people who are like, oh my god, the Havoc, that looks like a cool gun, from going against people who are in Apex Predator and top 500 lobbies. It's supposed to keep people within your skill tier against people within your skill tier. That's what it's supposed to do. And I know what a lot of you guys who are smarter than the average bear are actually thinking right now. How is your name Kaiserenth, but it begins with Q-Y-Z? Couldn't you have just spelled it K-A-I-Z? And look, we'll get into that much later. But the rest of you who are going to get A's on this test are really thinking, wait, isn't that what ranked is supposed to do? Isn't ranked competitive playlist where we should be having the SBMM? And you're right. You're 100% right. Correct. Give yourself bonus points and a pat on the back. We're about to jump into this nice and raw. Now, I will be the first to say that SBMM as a concept is not a bad thing. I don't even mind if it's added in pubs. I don't mind that it's here. My problem is really with the implementation of it and how it doesn't really seem to be doing its job, while also bringing up the plethora of other issues that seem to be plaguing this game and bogging down the overall experience in terms of player enjoyment and morale as of late. Now, a chart is about to appear on your screen, as you guys can see right now. I know a lot of you guys have been complaining about this on Reddit when it comes to SBMM. I mean, hell, there were so many threads. The mods of the Apex Legends Reddit were like, nah, dog, we can't have this. We just gonna merge all 20,000 of your threads into one super mega thread. And then somehow the mega thread got a part 2 because the mega thread just could not contain the salt behind SBMM. So if you're looking at the chart, let's go through it. So this is rough approximations of skill tiers that you're going to find while you're playing Apex Legends. And at the very bottom, we got the new folks, the new players, the people who will see a Mozambique and be like, oh my god, it's named after the country in East Africa, because, it's their third grade geography, they're learning these things. That being said, you're going to have the new players. 100% I understand they need to be very protected. They got to get used to the game. They got to get acclimated to the systems, the movement, the gunplay, etc., so on and so forth. 100% understand that. And then right up above them, we got the average Tuesday night Joey and Susan. Now, you don't know who those are. Those are the people who just boot this game up after a long day of work on Tuesday, crack their knuckles, and just say, hey, bro, I'm half drunk, I'm tipsy, I'm just out here to have a good time. Woo! And Joey and Susan just hop on, have a nice, good old time. Not really thinking about trying to get better at the game, just sitting back and this is basically just static noise to them. They're just playing the game to play the game just for shits and giggles, nice ha-has, hee-hees, kikis, etc. Nothing wrong with doing that. That's where I think I would like to fall into, because that's my mentality. Just play the game because the game's fun and don't really think too much about it. Now, the rest of the tiers don't really need an introduction, but we'll just go through them really fast, the lightning round. So, above average players, people who know what they're doing, have the fundamentals down, have a nice KD, have decent aim, can move, yada, 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 etc. That's C tier. B tier are the people who are really still piecing a lot of the higher end things like positioning and actual movement and full control over recoil and, the secret spots on the map that only certain players will ever really get to. Like, how did Gibraltar get up there? You're not asking those questions. You fully understand every baseline concept of the game. You're just piecing it all together. Then above that, you have the diamond players who really know how to put the nose to the grindstone, aren't going to miss too many shots in the clutch, can clearly show that they're dedicated, they're going to climb, they're one of Apex's most loyal groups. Then above them, you obviously have the top players, the basic beast modes of the game, out here lasering everybody. Doesn't matter what gun they pick up, they ain't missing not a damn shot. Soon as you turn the corner and they see you, it's might as well just be GG, no re, because you're going to the losers bracket. Sorry, buddy. And in an all-perfect balanced world when it comes to SBMM, you should feel like a third of the time you're one of the better players in the lobby, a third of the time you're about in the middle of the road, and a third of the time you're actually going to get schmiggity smoked and you got to put your nose to the grindstone if you wish to compete against the gods who are among you. That being said, it should be people who are just a little bit better than you, people on your skill level, and a little bit below you. And those 3 tiers should be able to mix in a nice homogeneous experience. The problem with this is that is not what Apex Legends SBMM does. It doesn't even seem like it gets close to that, and we're going to address it right now. This right here is what a lot of people feel as though SBMM is doing to their games. Where you're just a regular Tuesday night Joey or Susan, or maybe, you're queuing up with your buddy who's, got a decent KD, like 1.4, 1.5, they're doing pretty well for themselves, they're feeling like they're getting better at the game, and you guys duo queue, and then you look to your left and you see Predators, you see top 500 streamers, you're like, all right, what are you doing here? Excuse me, sir and or Matt, what's going on? Then you look to your right and you see a bunch of diamond trails and you're just like, so this is just my life now, so just screw me and everything I had going on. You immediately put boots on the ground, you just get lasered by an R99 and you re-roll. Then somehow you're back in the same situation, then you re-roll. And before you know it, you guys have played about 6 games in the course of 14 minutes and you're just like, can we live? Like at all? Y'all feel like y'all look at the menu screen more than you actually get to play the game. And I do feel for those people because trust me, when you're talking about the disparity amongst skill level within parties, don't even get me started right there because the SBMM only seems to track who's the highest in the SBMM tier list in your party. So if you got an Apex Predator on your team and 2 people who just installed the game, you're not going to get a game where it's going to be somewhere in the middle of the road. No, you're going to the Apex Predator Shadow Realm lobbies. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, Susan. You queued up with the wrong player, and now it's time for you to die. Which is really unfortunate because a lot of us have friends that may be a little bit better than us, or a lot better than us, or, nowhere near our skill level, and they're way beneath us. And it sucks that we won't be really able to share the Apex experience with them in a way that's kind of healthy because we don't want the people who are much less skilled than ourselves to just feel like they just want to jump off a cliff and just say, I think I'm just going to play solo by myself and just enjoy Apex that way because your lobbies are just death. Like, there's no point in me being there. I'm just going to explode. But now we're actually going to take a quick look at my chart again, and this is how SBMM should probably work in an ideal situation. The new folks in their own pool. Only in their own pool, only with other new folks. Tuesday night Joey and Susans, those should be all in one skill bracket, and maybe pull a couple of people from the people who are at 1.2 to 2 KD, above average players, pull them into those games if they're on the lower end of that threshold, yada yada, etc., etc. Those who are teetering on the top end of the Tuesday night Joey and Susans, the players who are above average, and those adept players that are still piecing it together should also be in one sort of big pool as well. However, notice I have a little bit of the overlap, which means those at the top end of the Tuesday night Joey will also have those lobbies where they're only with Tuesday night Joeys and Susans. So half the time they're with Joey and Susan, half the time they're with Joey and Susan, and some above average players. Then once beyond that, the top end of those adept players, they might have to be matched with diamonds if we're doing SBMM or, people who are of that diamond level, whichever arbitrary stat numbers and stat lines they may have for that. And same thing with predators, diamonds, and those top end of the adept range should all be in one nice big skill tier. But meanwhile, some of those adept players will also have games where they're just playing with the above average and the adept players. That's how it should work. And if the queues are taking too long, slowly start expanding the search. That's an ideal world philosophy here, though. And we know Respawn does not deal with the ideal world, because if they did, gold barrel stabilizer wouldn't be worse than the purple and blue and white barrel stabilizers, because for some reason, I have no idea why, the gold barrel stabilizer, to this day, causes more muzzle flash and puts smoke. I don't understand how they did that, but hey, here we are. It's 2020. It's a wild world. Strap in there, bucko. We're all under quarantine, so I gotta make videos like this because I ain't got nothing better else to do with my time. Now, some of you may be nodding your head saying, I like those fixes. Yeah, why doesn't Respawn just do that? And that is because they know that only works if everyone was forced to solo queue. Once you start adding groups into the mix, it's not a good look. Because, unfortunately, even in an all-honest world, this wouldn't work just due to the simple fact of groups. Whether you like it or not, groups will completely destroy SBMM in a heartbeat. In any game there is where you can 3-stack, 2-stack, 4-stack, 6-stack, etc., etc., you're going to run into the problem where this guy's a god, this girl's a god, and they're teaming with a couple of their buddies who just want to play the game because they know that they have a cool friend who just so happens to also play the game, and they just so happen to be very good at it. Because we've seen it time and time again. If you're a solo queuer, you queue up, you got a random Joey and a random Susan on your team, and you're like, all right, I'm kind of just an adept player. All right, that's cool. But then you see to your right a team with 2 Predator trails and a Diamond trail. And you have to think to yourself at this juncture now, so did SBMM think that the 3 average to below average players were just going to beat the Diamonds and the Predators? Now, great SBMM you got there, Respawn. Woo! Now, you queued up solo. The 2 people who are on your team are either a duo or they queued up solo as well. And you got solos playing groups. And when you have solos playing groups, it's awful. Because sometimes it feels like the SBMM matchmaker just decides it's going to go ahead and say, oh, you're a good player. We estimate you to be a good player. You have a KD that's over 2. So you must be a great player. So we're going to give you a random Susan and a random Joey. But because you're estimated as a good player, we're going to allow 3 stacks of good to great players to enter your game. Balance. That right there is the big problem. When you have groups playing solos, it is awful, especially when it's 3 solos, and you definitely can tell that a lot of these other teams are groups. Otherwise, you're telling me that 3 people who don't even play ranked are going to be matching up against people who have multiple Diamonds or multiple Predators on their team. See how it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. And if you're a Predator or a Diamond player, and you have, let's say, someone who's new on your team, like brand, that new group that should be closed off and just put in an exclusive tier, the game doesn't care. Newbie, you're about to meet some Predators, my guy. It's about to not go well for you, my girl. It's just not gonna go your way tonight or any other night you queue up with your homie who's in Predator. This final piece of the chart, if you're wondering why Tuesday night Susan and Joey are in like a weird looking type of pink color, it's because it's double grouped with, hi, wow, this gun's cool. Because it feels like the Tuesday night Joey and Susans, every now and then, they'll have regular games that are with the new crowd, the new folks, and they're all just having fun, just going pew-pew, ka-chew. But if you're in the players who are above average, welcome to the Shadow Realm. Predators, Diamonds, Adept players, 3 stacks, 2 stacks, solo queuers. You're all in one box. And it doesn't seem like we're getting out anytime soon. Starting to feel like 6ix9ine out here. I doubt there's a fix coming soon because the developers have already told us just deal with it. That just is what it is. And I understand a lot of people are going to combat that by making Smurf to get into the quote-unquote bot lobbies, the low-level lobbies, and just completely go ahead and shred it up in there. But, I'm telling you right now, the SBMM system that they put in when they implemented it, when they tweaked it for Season 4, or like at the end of Season 3, whenever they decided they were going to tweak it, I don't know what they did, but if you're smurfing, I'm telling you, you got about the first 6 to 7 levels. If you play too good, you'll be right here very soon. You might get an hour and 15 minutes tops before you're right back to the place you wanted to leave so damn bad. That being said, maybe you guys have a fix. Maybe you guys have a suggestion. Maybe you guys have something that Respawn might listen to. Who am I to tell you that your idea is wrong? That being said, if you like the video, go ahead and like it. This is more of an open forum of discussion, not how to necessarily fix SBMM. I just wanted to have a little bit of a rant time, you know what I'm saying? I know it's a very different type of thing for my channel, but I had fun doing it. And hopefully you had fun listening to my rambles. Maybe if you liked what I brought to the table, maybe you guys could say, hey man, that's some pretty good SBMM stuff you got going on there. Maybe we could hopefully share that with Respawn. If not, then tell me I'm crazy and that I'm the one that's smoking the methamphetamines or something like that. So all in all, hopefully you guys have a nice day. It is April Fool's Day. I don't know if I should upload this because it's April Fool's Day. Maybe I should wait till April 2nd because I don't want everyone to think this is a joke. But, whatever. If they're going to throw a whole bunch of Mozambiques in my face today, I can throw them a video their way. So that being said, I'm Kaiser and I'm out.